The weight of you makes me strong. Hold on to me now.
Welcome, welcome. Wait a few moments for some more of you guys to get in here. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I'm going to remember who was here. I'm going to remember who was here from the beginning to the end. Hi, that boy. Hello, Josh. Tonester, thank you so much for joining us. Chelsea, hello. Artemis, welcome to the stream. Guys, this stream is going to be really, in my opinion, really, really cool. I'm actually like fangirling over how excited I am for this episode, guys. So if you are wondering what this is, what kind of a live stream this is, first of all, it's going to be a live stream where the GIFs audio is off because I am not trying to get my ears blown up. But guys, this is a show called In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. My name is Gabby. If you guys are new here, it's nice to meet you all. My co-host Sammy will be here with us shortly. She's a mental health therapist. And together we do the show every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the show, we talk about coping with emotional, social, and psychological well-being to promote self-healing and self-development. And we have a new topic every week that's related to mental health in some way, where we provide you guys resources and tips that you can use on your everyday life on your journey to happier living. So what we would like for you guys to do is leave the show feeling like you got something out of it. So we're really excited to have you here today. The episode today is so cool and it's so not traditional. It's something that Sammy and I actually really don't know much about it until we've researched. Now we know some stuff, and that's why we're here to teach you guys about it. So without further ado, before I give too much away, I have my intro for you guys that I play every week. Ash Marie helped me with this. We made it with our bare hands, guys. So Ash Marie, if you are here, I don't know if I saw you. She's amazing. Thanks for all the help. She has a show on here too, Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Love at First Sight. If anyone's ever interested in trying to find some love, hit her up on her Instagram. So Ash, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hold on to me now. You're not invincible. If you let your guard down, I'm not gonna let you fall. Hold on to me now. I'm not invincible. Drowning in self-doubt. Can you pull my demons out? Oh, it's all on the table. Nothing too hard. Hold on to me now. You're not invincible. I'll carry you somehow. The weight of you makes me strong. Hold on to me now. I'm not invincible. They're dragging me under, but I'm breathing you in and out. It's all on the table.
Yo, that intro gets me so pumped up every single week. Guys, are you pumped up right now? Because we're talking about something so freaking cool today. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped, guys. But it's time to change the vibe as far as the music goes. We're gonna have some chill lo-fi beats as we usually do here on the stream. So welcome everybody. If somebody is just walking in, hopefully we're seeing some new faces today. Z, thank you so much for being here. Guys, this is a show called In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. My name is Gabby. It's so nice to meet you guys. If you're new coming in the stream, my co-host Sammy J is a mental health therapist. She will be joining us shortly. But before we get into meeting our co-host here today, guys, in case you don't know her, if you don't know her, you're gonna find her today. You're gonna find out who she is, and it's gonna be great. So, guys, this is a show called In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. We do this every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about coping with emotional, social, and psychological well being to promote self healing and self development. And every week we have a new topic that we cover where we provide you guys with education, resources, and tips. And our goal is to get you guys leaving the stream feeling like you got something out of it. So I'm really glad to see you guys here. I'm just really glad to see some new faces who aren't so new to me. Welcome, Armando, to the stream. Guys, today is such a cool episode. I'm just so excited for it. If you were here last week, hit a 1 in the chat if you were here last week. Last week, we had an episode on physical therapy and its benefits on our mental health. My very good friend, and she was my peer at Penn State. Her name is Raina. She's a licensed physical therapist assistant like myself. She came on the show and we talked about the benefits that physical therapy had on us as far as our mental health goes. And that was a really cool episode. If you missed that or any of the other ones, I have a YouTube channel. It's in my bio. Actually, all of my socials are in there. They're just buttons now. Thank you, Meet Me, for the update. Just press it. It'll take you right there. The stream will stay open and everything. It's super, super cool. Technology is like super dope these days. So, guys, this week we are talking about the benefits of boxing on our mental health, which sounds kind of like a weird combination if you really are unfamiliar with boxing like I was until we did some research, and we found some research on it to support it. It's super cool. And we have Zeke Illinois in the chat. She is Meet Me's very own boxing coach. She has her own show Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Total Knockout, and it's an amazing show. Even if you're like not into boxing at all, it is such a good show. She has such a great energy. She's so optimistic, and she really is so good at teaching you all the steps you need to know to get through the workout. So I highly suggest you hit her with a favorite. Stay tuned because she's going to be in the box telling us a little bit about her boxing journey and her mental health journey. So before we get into the show, let me tell you a little bit about what to expect. We start off the show with a Q&A from our Instagram every week. If you guys would like to take part in that, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Once again, in my bio up here. Somebody's also probably going to put it in the chat. My show's Instagram is inittogether_meet me. It's also going to be in Sammy's bio too. There's like lots of resources you could use to get to our Instagram. After our Instagram Q&A, Sammy's going to jump in the box. She's going to comment a little bit on some of your answers, and then we're going to talk about what boxing is, the different types of boxing. I guess there's probably lots of different types, but we're going to talk about like one in particular. Then we're going to talk about the benefits of boxing and your physical health, your mental health, and then we have a really cool I guess I really wouldn't know if I would call it a study, but it's something really, really cool that they do in the UK that involves boxing and mental health. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys because when I talked to Zeke Illinois about this show, she actually didn't even know it existed. So I'm really, really, really excited to share it with you guys. And then after we talk about that really cool thing I'm going to tell you guys about, Zeke Illinois is going to jump in the box and we're going to have an awesome conversation. So guys, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. First question was a poll, as usual. Have you ever boxed? So actually, I was really surprised by this. 47% of the followers said, yes, I have, and 53% said no. I felt like that was a pretty high number. If you guys have boxed at least once in your life, put a 1 in the chat. And if you've never boxed a day in your life, put a 2 in the chat. I'm a 2, that's for sure. I've never boxed. After doing all this research, though, I'm actually really interested in taking a boxing class, so you got a good mix in there. Definitely more people that probably haven't boxed, but you guys are going to learn some really cool stuff today. Next question I had for you guys was a 2-parter question. How has boxing benefited you? And how long have you been boxing? And are you consistent with it? The first person said they benefited through learning self-defense. It builds confidence, and it's a good way to keep in shape. They boxed for 3 years, and then after that, they were kind of inconsistent on and off. This person benefited from mental, physical, and even spiritual aspects of boxing. It helps with anxiety and depression as well as self-importance. It's a 2-parter actually to their answer. Combat sports truly create a sense of inner security and confidence. It affects every aspect of your life. And were they consistent? Are they boxing? Are they still boxing? They said, I did martial arts between the ages of 10 and 21. I plan on going back, however, life hasn't allowed that. How have you benefited from boxing? It gave me an outlet for my aggression and taught me self-defense. I used to box for 5 years, but I haven't done it in almost 7, and I might get back into it. after today, I hope if you're watching, I hope you do get back into it because I want to box. I want to box now, but I don't want anyone to hit me. I just think it would be fun to get the aggression out and hit other stuff that is in my face. How have you benefited from boxing? It taught me the very basis of self-defense. And they boxed for a year, so not super consistent, but they were for that year though. Boxing taught me how to have better hand and eye coordination, and I haven't boxed in 10 years. Once again, I hope it'll change after this. Boxing benefited this person by getting their anger out, and they boxed for 1 year. Kind of the same deal. This person benefited by getting their stress out through boxing, but they only boxed for 1 week. That's going to change after today. How did you benefit from boxing? It changed my life, and they've been boxing consistently for 4 years. The next one, guys, this is going to be really fun for you boxing fans out there. Who was your favorite boxer? I did the best I could to some people had 5 answers in there, but I tried my best to pick and choose what I could here. Mike Tyson, Terrence Crawford, Evander Holyfield, Julio Cesar Chavez, Muhammad Ali. This one says me, because it's Z. It's Zeke Illinois. 4 people said Zeke Illinois is my favorite boxer. So she's in the chat right here. And she'll be in the box with us shortly to talk about her boxing and mental health journey too. So that's all I have for you as far as our Instagram Q&A goes, guys. It's time to have Sammy J join the box. If you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. You haven't missed too much yet. We're talking about the benefits of boxing on mental health. Hello, Sammy.
Hello. How's everybody?
I'm doing great. I have this much anxiety, but I think it's fun anxiety.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Adrenaline.
You feel pumped. You feel pumped right now.
I am pumped right now. I'm so excited.
You're channeling Z's energy, I think.
I think so. No, Z has so much energy. If I could have an ounce of her energy, I would be good for a week.
All the cartwheels.
Yes. So Sammy, what are you thinking from all those responses?
I was loving the responses. Like you said, I'm so a little bit shocked to see how many people have had experience with boxing. So that's really, really cool to see that it's more popular than we think. And I would be curious to know, is it location wise, is it more popular in certain locations and that kind of stuff? You know me, I always want to dig deeper to figure these things.
We love stats. You know what? We don't even have a stats and facts section this week.
I know, sad face, but it's
yeah,
okay.
it's a bummer.
It'll
be coming back.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
So, Sammy, before we did research on this, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know anything about boxing.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about boxing. Did you know anything about boxing? Did you ever watch boxing really?
No, not boxing. My dad for a minute got into the MMA stuff, so it'd be on the TV and I'd watch that. And go out with some guy friends that were into UFC and that kind of stuff, but not boxing per se. So yeah, this was all very, very brand new to me.
Yeah, it was new, and it was fun to research it too, especially not knowing anything about it. Oh, that was really fun.
Well, and it was interesting too. Again, when I speak of locations, it was interesting to see how many articles came from the UK as opposed to in the States here. So I think it must be very, very big over in the UK. So that's
definitely. So just in case somebody doesn't know what boxing is, I'm just gonna try to give you a little definition of it. So boxing is a combat sport. 2 people are together in a ring. They're throwing punches like this. I'm trying to do Z's class. I watched it the other day.
You got the form.
She's gonna come at me and be like, "Your stance is wrong." But yeah, 2 people are boxing in a ring. They have gloves, safety equipment, depending on if you're a noob or if you're advanced, you may have more or less safety equipment on. That's pretty much very, very, very easy. Yeah, noob. I use that word sometimes. That's pretty much boxing in a nutshell.
Yes. So there's also this thing called fitness boxing. So fitness boxing is when there is no physical fighting in a ring, Instead, it's going through the movements of the sport to do an exercise routine. So there's no actually like hitting each other or anything like that. It's all part of an exercise routine where you're practicing the moves and the stances.
And see, that's pretty cool because I actually didn't know that was a thing. Up until Zeke Illinois just kind of, I never knew who she was. Suddenly, she had a show on the app, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And now, and you know, she's not like actually punching people on the show because I don't think Meet Me would like that.
Yeah.
But it's still really cool to see how all the motions can go into play into an actual workout routine, and it's still intense, even if you're not actually like physically fighting somebody. It's still like really intense.
Yes.
So there was an article that actually was from. We have a lot of information from Harvard for almost all of our shows. And by the way, all the resources are posted on Instagram after the shows. Much last week, I actually didn't get to put them on, so there'll be double research today. But there's a physical therapist who's the director of a hospital that is affiliated with Harvard. It's called Brigham and Women's Hospital, and she states that this kind of boxing, the fitness boxing, which is non-contact, has many benefits because it's constantly requiring you to think, change your position, and change your posture. So it is pretty cool, guys. If you don't know, I'm a licensed physical therapist assistant, but there is actual physical therapy programs that can involve boxing as part of your treatment, as long as it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool to see that too. So a little bit more of my background goes into play with this, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes, yes. So now Gabby's going to talk to us about some benefits of fitness boxing, which include strengthening, aerobic exercise, hand-eye coordination, and better balance.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is kind of like a review from the exercise episode we had before, but specifically with boxing. So strengthening, you're using every muscle in your body when you're boxing. Your upper body, your arms, obviously being used when you're punching, especially with the power and the speed that you need in boxing. Your core, your back, your legs are getting strengthened because of the different positioning that you need to be in, and you're also moving on a dime. So I know Kelly had said, we had a conversation and she told me that like feet work is like the most difficult thing for people sometimes. So I'm sure she'll be able to tell us a little bit about that. Aerobic exercise is another benefit physically of boxing. This is like some really obvious stuff here, I feel like. So anything with exercise, with any type of exercise with like aerobic, you're gonna decrease your chances of diabetes, heart disease, things like that. And of course, you're gonna also enhance your endurance, which is pretty cool. Hand-eye coordination. Somebody mentioned that in the Instagram Q&A. You can. I actually thought this was pretty cool. So not only can you get your hand-eye coordination increased by using the I have to make sure that I say it right. Oh my gosh, the pads. The pads they wear on their hands. I don't know. I had a brain fart. You know, we have one of those to show.
Yeah.
But by hitting the pads,
now it's done.
by hitting the pads or hitting like one of the bags, or even by shadow boxing, which I didn't know was actually a thing. But when you see people like just like going at it, like, but there's nothing there, it's shadow boxing. Even that can actually help with your hand-eye coordination, which is pretty cool. And it helps to heighten your alertness as well. And better balance is the last physical aspect. I'm sure there's probably more. You could argue there's more. But constantly changing positions when boxing, especially if you are getting punched, there's a really good chance you might get knocked down. But as you continue going through it and you continue to get better at boxing, you're going to be quicker to kind of get yourself back into position. So those are some of the physical benefits of boxing. But now, guys, we're all here because we talk about mental health very heavy on this show. So, Sammy, what are some of the mental health benefits of boxing?
Yeah, there is like a decent amount of mental health benefits to boxing, which I think makes sense when we've talked about exercise. If it's a form of exercise, it should have mental health benefits. So it does still give us that endorphin release that we've talked about with exercise. So research proves that physical activity improves our mental health. We talked about this in our exercise episode, in our yoga episode, probably a couple other ones too that I'm not thinking about. When you exercise, endorphins are released. Endorphins make us feel good. We want endorphins. So the release, they give you the feel good sensation after exercising. And the effects can be long-term by making you more motivated in general. So the more we feel good, the more we want to do more things, which means we might do more of this. And it's a very great cycle to be a part of. These are the positive cycles we're aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, because we're talking about releasing endorphins and how that can kind of help with, your mood. We've learned in our past episodes, guys, which are all on YouTube, that exercise can be comparable to antidepressants. So maybe if you're not someone, if you have a pretty severe mental illness, this might not alone like really be the cure for anything, but it definitely can have benefits that are similar to antidepressants. So that's really, really cool. And another thing I just like to point out, because boxing is a very physical sport, a lot of people have that like go hard or go home type of mindset, or if it or no pain no gain. So when I was in physical therapy assistant school, I learned that those are some really bad things to say, even as like a coach, or like not a coach, but from my point of view as a PTA, I can't be like, yeah, go hard or go home. If it's not hurting, you're not doing it enough. Like, that's actually not a good mindset to be in. So if you're going over your respiratory threshold in a workout, and that means like being able to have like a conversation while you're working out, you're going to actually delay those happy, good feeling, the release of those endorphins. It gets delayed by about 3 hours. So instead of feeling really good after your workout, you're going to feel like crap. And none of us wants to feel like that, because once you start feeling that way after a workout, you're just going to affiliate bad things with your workout. So don't overdo it, guys. Just like to put that out there.
Yeah. Somebody made a comment that the music may be a teeny bit too loud.
Thank you so much for letting me know about that. I appreciate it. Sometimes the songs are like higher than others. I'm sorry about that.
It sounded okay on my end, but I don't know if it's different with me being in the box. So
that's okay. I want to make sure you guys hear everybody and everything. So thanks for the warning. I didn't even see the comment.
All right. So next mental health benefit is stress relief and stress and anger management. Stress relief and anger management. So it's a healthy, positive outlet for emotions. We are potentially punching a bag, punching the air. If we are punching a person, it's like it's a consenting punching relationship. It's okay to be doing that. So we're all about consent here in this show. So yes.
You have permission to punch me.
Yes. We've all agreed to this if we're in the ring together. So yes, it's a healthy, positive outlet for emotions. Putting all your aggression into a punching bag can improve your power and your technique. So helping you to feel more in control and just, again, powerful. I like that word. Even if anger is not something you need an outlet for, this is a good way to get inside of your own head to help yourself think through situations that you might be dealing with more rationally. So it helps you to kind of learn to slow down your thought process, but to also kind of think quickly and make good decisions that will help benefit you. So that's really interesting. There is also social benefits to boxing. This is a very social sport, guys. Even within doing the fitness boxing, it's very social compared to some other exercises that could be much more solo. So their training in boxing can be done alone, which does have its benefits, but you will likely have a partner or a trainer or be in a group. You'll motivate each other, which can make time enjoyable. So that's always good, like having that team. I know Z has talked about her training and how important it is to just have that person in your corner, cheering you on, building you up, that confidence, all that kind of stuff. So that's really important for people's mental health. Doing things such as cardio training or using your partner to hold focus pads. That's the word you were looking for.
That's the word.
Focus pads for you to hit are two examples of this social experience. This is also a good opportunity to discuss ideas and to create social relationships. So that kind of has to do with what Gabby wants us to see later that she's very excited about. So I won't go too much into that right now. Anxiety, depression, and self-esteem are another area where boxing is beneficial. So everything mentioned so far can help, but there's even more to add. Boxing can improve your self-esteem as you become comfortable with your training. Boxing gives you the opportunity to put yourself in a safe place. with people that you feel safe and comfortable with, hopefully. Boxing is an excellent way to improve your fitness in your own way. Taking the time out of your day to train at something you enjoy doing, it can improve your confidence. So it helps a lot with all of these things.
And just kind of piggybacking off of one of the three things you said, we just covered anxiety, depression, and self-esteem, and how those things can kind of get better through boxing. Anxiety, we've talked about anxiety and exercise in the past. So if you are someone who experiences panic attacks, I mean, I'm vulnerable enough to admit I am. Sometimes it's worse than others. But when you have an anxiety attack, it feels really, really, really rough. Like your heart's going crazy, you're sweating, your blood pressure spikes up, you're breathing real heavy, and a number of other things that could happen. But those are kind of like the three main things that happen during a panic attack. And you know what that also is, guys? I feel like I talk about this every like other week because we talk
It's
about
so
exercise
cool
so
that-
often, actually. When you're in fight, flight, or freeze, fight, that's it now. Fight, flight, or freeze, guys. They added the freeze. I don't know why. Flee and flight are literally synonyms, Gabby. Like, calm down. Okay, fight, flight, or freeze, like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Same types of stuff going on, guys. The heart's going, you're sweating, blood pressure is kind of like what's going on with me right now. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, those when you exercise, you feel that same type of reaction. So sometimes if you're a type of person who experiences panic attacks, when you exercise, you might kind of have a bad experience initially because it feels like you're having a freaking panic attack. But the best way to help those panic attacks to get desensitized to those types of feelings is to exercise, guys. So just something to keep in mind. If you maybe do a little experiment with yourself, if you're someone who frequently gets panic attacks, exercise can really help reduce your panic attacks.
Yeah, definitely. And I see some questions starting to pop up, guys. Remember at the end of Z's interview, she's going to be taking questions, and then I'm going to get back in, and Gabby and I are going to be taking questions. So write them down on a piece of paper, save them. We're not ignoring you. We just are waiting till the end.
Yeah, sorry guys. When we do the show, we get into host mode where we don't really acknowledge comments much. But this is a pen and paper type of show, so definitely write down your questions. We'll be happy to answer them for you at the end of the show. And of course, if you have any questions about boxing, Z is going to be in the box, and I'm going to give her an opportunity to have a Q&A with you guys as well. So we aren't ignoring you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so last mental health benefit is focus, concentration, and strategy. So boxing can open up doors to a new way to achieve fitness goals. So it's a creative way to kind of hit your fitness goals, very non-traditional. So yeah, it can help with weight loss, cardio health, strength, all those things. As you continue to train, you will find your own style of training or fighting, and maybe Z can talk to us about different styles and that kind of stuff if people are interested in that. This will help you to find creative ways to deal with situations. So again, it's kind of boosting that creative side of your brain too, and like teaching you to think in a different way than you're used to thinking. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, just to add one more thing. So exercising in general, not just boxing, can help improve the quality of your sleep. And sleep is so, so important. If you guys aren't getting the quality sleep that you need, definitely check out our episode on sleep because sleep is so important, guys. Huge. It's huge. That's enough said on that. That's another live stream, guys.
Don't make us go back to that. I mean, I will because I love talking about sleep. But
I'll do sleep 2.0. But guys, if you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. This is a show we do every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Gabby. This is Sammy J. She is my co-host and mental health therapist. We both go live every day, so make sure you hit us both with a favorite. If you guys have any questions or have any questions or suggestions for the show related to mental health, Sammy J goes live every morning at 8 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you go and check her out. You can actually catch her not in host mode as well, so she'll be like her own self, vibing, doing her thing. So make sure you hit us both with a favorite. But we're talking about the benefits of boxing and mental health, guys. We went through our Instagram Q&A. We talked about what boxing is versus fitness boxing. We talked about the benefits of it on our physical health as well as our mental health. And now we're going to talk about something really, really cool, guys, that I'm so excited to share with you. So we're going to talk about boxing as an avenue for tackling mental health. So I'm sure Z will be able to let us know if this is fact or not. But boxing gyms, which I've never been to one, but from the research I've read, boxing gyms are a pretty cool knit community of people from all different avenues of life. They've all come together to channel their energy and their thoughts through something positive like boxing, or in this case, fitness boxing. So at the same time, these individuals are able to practice self-discipline and add a sense of structure to their lives. So in the UK, there is a program called Boxing Future. Apparently the UK is like big on boxing, which I didn't know until this week. Boxing Future is founded by two gentlemen named Anthony York and Andy Burley. We're going to actually show you a video here shortly, and Andy and Anthony York is actually in the video. So you have to get to meet him. So the program aims to improve the physical and mental well-being of individuals who have been isolated in some way, who have been underprivileged, who have mental health issues. And it's through non-contact boxing. And it makes it really appealing to people maybe in these situations, because honestly, we're feeling really lucky today, guys, because we have this program that's being offered to these types of people. But yeah, because the sport of boxing can seem really scary and dangerous, but the fact that they have this program where there is no physical actual like damage being done makes it a lot more appealing to people.
Yeah. So the charity also has a program within it called Brothers Through Boxing and Sisters Through Boxing. So they're programs that are offered that are led by a coach who builds relationships with the participants. The participants are encouraged to create friendships with each other. And it was found that a class of 12 was ideal for the most intimate relationships. So they have several of these classes. York said it's more than just the boxing. It's about the individual person and moving them from point A to point B, the journey they are going on, and our duty in making them feel important and part of their community. So they're really more of a focus on bringing people together than just boxing itself.
Yeah, and Boxing Futures actually works with another foundation, another charity. They're called the Movember Foundation, and they are the leading charity in men's mental health in the UK.
Yeah. So research from this charity found that the leading cause of suicide among men in the UK was due to isolation and loneliness, which led them to sponsoring the Brothers Through Boxing program. So this is really centered around men, but they do have a women's program as well. Do you want me to jump out of the box for this?
I will have you jump out of the box. I'm going to show you guys a really cool video. It's by it is the Brothers Through Boxing program. It just it's going to really paint a picture of what we're trying to explain to you. So I'm going to let them explain it to you. And this actually made me really emotional when I watched it. So, so I'm excited for you guys to see it too.
For men, it's obviously that a mano, that one-on-one is the masculine sport. Boxing has that allure. And often boxing reaches some of the communities which are hard to reach. What it did for me, what it's done for my head coach, and what it's done for many others like us, it saves our lives. Some of us, they may have suffered trauma in the past. Some may have special education needs, mental health issues. So we like to bring the two together really and explore the strengths of boxing to really engage these young men. Now, Brothers Through Boxing is a very special and very unique project, and it targets a group that we haven't really particularly worked with before. These are socially isolated young men between the ages of 16 and 25 years of age, and we developed this project specifically for them.
Ready, go!
The idea was to bring them into a session that was developed with a boxing focus and then followed by brief discussions about certain topics guys don't generally talk about and probably haven't ever talked about in their whole life, and it's quite taboo.
This is a program about friendship. It's about connecting people. It's about supporting each other through tough times, because that's really what we're here for.
1, 2, double jab. 1, 2, double jab.
there is that stigma, isn't there? Men aren't supposed to be big and tough and not speak about the feelings and what's going on inside. But really, I've had sort of issues ongoing from school onwards. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. From where I am now to what I was doing last year, it is a massive change. It's definitely a massive change. I feel a lot better in my mental state, in shape, and fit. I feel like there's a nice group of people. We can talk about our worries and problems. It just feels like, yeah, we're a team.
You've all mentioned that you've gone through something in your life, a hardship. Everybody's got problems. It's quite detrimental if we don't ask for help.
I only started taking medication for depression in second year of sixth form, and I'd definitely been showing signs of it before then. I tend to be quite open nowadays.
If you can even find just a handful of people that you trust and they trust you and you can open up to, and you have their back and they have yours, when things aren't going your way, you have someone to pick you up. When you fall down, someone to help you pick you up and get you through that hard time in life. And then you do it for them, and then in turn that makes you feel better.
Without the Movember Foundation, these men aren't being helped. They're forgotten. We're all flesh and blood. We've all got feelings. We're all hurt. We all bleed. And at that time, we all need other people, again, to form those stronger bonds, which we hope are going to be everlasting. Brothers Through Boxing, we're changing lives, we're changing attitudes, we're helping men.
All right, guys, so that was like a 3-minute video on the Brothers Through Boxing, which is affiliated with the Movember Foundation. If you're just joining, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. I just wanted to show you that video about the program we just covered. So I really like that video. I thought it was, I don't know, I'm an emotional person, so I found it very touching.
No, it's really really great. This program is insane. So they talk a lot about it's beneficial for people to relate to other people that have similar backgrounds or similar experiences, and doing this through conversation. So actually the really cool part about this program, guys, is that they incorporate a professional mental health counselor as part of the coaching team to help encourage the participants to talk about their problems. So they are really targeting mental health here by incorporating these counselors into the program, and making it easier for these men to approach them, because now they feel connected to them in another way. So that's really awesome.
Absolutely. And if you guys are just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. I'm Gabby. This is Sammy J, licensed mental health therapist. Together, we do the show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about coping with emotional, social, and psychological well-being to promote self-healing and self-development. And every week, we have a new topic that we cover that's related to mental health. This week is boxing. If you guys are just tuning in, we covered a lot so far. We've covered what boxing is, what fitness boxing is, the effects of boxing on your physical and your mental health. And now we are just ending our conversation about a program called Boxing Future that has a charity called Boxing Future that has 2 programs, Sisters Through Boxing and Brothers Through Boxing, where they use non-contact boxing as a form of exercise and also a way to kind of bring these people together. People maybe who have been isolated in some way, people who are dealing with mental health issues, people who are underprivileged, things like that. And it's really, 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 really cool. I never would have thought something like this existed. And they even involve a counselor, a therapist in the team. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do want to address said, it helps both ways with female and men, which I think is absolutely true. That's why they have both the Brothers and the Sisters Through Boxing programs. But I do think it is important to remind people too that is statistically research proven that men have more difficulty with communicating their emotions and the things that are going on with them. And Gabby and I discussed this a little bit. A lot of research will show that this stems all the way back to childhood, how we interact with babies. Observe people playing with babies, and you'll see that you typically, not always, female babies are talked to while male babies are tossed around and done things more physically with. So it is great to see some of these programs recognizing that and helping men find another way to get comfortable with communicating.
Absolutely. So now, guys, we are going to talk about the key psychological aspects of a boxer, the characteristics that make them successful, and then we are going to bring in our special guest, Zeke Illinois, Meet Me's very own boxing coach. I'm really excited to have her on. So, guys, let's talk about it. So, there are some key psychological aspects to a boxer.
Yeah, so Gabby's actually going to tell us about these, but they are specifically confidence, motivation or discipline, and self-belief, composure, and resilience. So
I still spelled that wrong. Sorry.
That's okay.
I noticed a spell typo.
I didn't even trip up over it.
So guys, yeah, confidence, motivation, and discipline, self-belief, composure, and resilience. So in the boxing world, confidence. If you don't have confidence, you're definitely setting yourself up for failure. You need confidence to land those punches. You need confidence to take the punches. You need confidence to be able to get back up. So confidence is key. Motivation and discipline. So you need to motivate yourself to dig deeper. You might learn everything you need to know about boxing, but if you keep motivated and you keep practicing self-discipline, you are one step ahead of your opponent, because maybe your opponent's at a point where they're kind of giving up. They're slipping up a little bit. They're not really thinking clearly. You have control of that situation for sure if you have control of your self-discipline. Self-belief is another characteristic of successful boxers. Self-belief. So believing in yourself through self-affirmations, guys. And this is something that all people should be doing, and really probably not very many of us do, because it's awkward. You know, looking yourself in the mirror, telling yourself good things about yourself. I get aggressive when I do it, so I'm not going to do it here, because I'd be calling myself a baddie and stuff, but maybe like with more bad words. It's like positively aggressive, okay? So that's what boxers do. They use self-affirmations to improve their self-belief. Composure, being calm. So first of all, you're already in a boxing ring. Somebody already wants to punch you, okay? You have to keep your composure in that situation. But on top of somebody wanting to punch you in the face, they're already probably trash talking you. And some people can just get under your skin. And I'm sure there are people who are better at it than others. If you're able to stay composed, keep composure, stay calm, you're able to be more successful. And of course, resilience is the last psychological aspect of being a boxer. Don't give up, man. And that's really, a lot of these, I think, are good key things to have in general. But if you are a boxer and you're resilient, you're not going to just be like, oh man, I lost that one. You're not going to sulk about it. You're not going to, if you had a winning streak and suddenly you get your butt whooped one night, you're not going to sulk about it. You're going to think about, okay, here's what happened. Here's what I could have done differently. And here's how I'm going to improve myself in the future. So once again, guys, the key psychological aspects of a boxer that makes them successful: confidence, motivation, self-discipline, self-belief, composure, and resilience.
Yes.
So Sammy, I feel like these sound like a lot of things that we want to be in general, not just as like boxing. So do you think, are these things that people are just born with? Are you just born confident, or do you have to like try to create that confidence in yourself?
So I mean, I think there's probably arguments for both, that there probably is some kind of genetic component to it, but I think there's probably also a very large environmental component to it, that the more experiences that you have with positive things are going to push you in one direction, negative things are going to push you in a different direction. Genes might help play a part in how you're like interpreting those things and that kind of stuff. So I think it's probably a pretty good combination of both things.
So would you think that many of us, probably most of us, aren't boxers in the chat? Do you think trying to get these things, confidence, resilience, self-belief, is that like something that we should all be doing?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see any negatives to being more confident, more motivated, believing in yourself, having composure, being resilient. And there's no negatives to that. So definitely, if you're hearing this and you're like, maybe that could help me, try it, especially doing like a fitness boxing class. What's the worst that can happen, as long as you are physically able to do that kind of activity, and give it a whirl.
Absolutely. Sammy, is there anything else you'd like to add before we get our guest in the box?
Absolutely not. I just want to see in this box. I need that energy. Let's go.
I am so excited. Guys, you're going to say bye to Sammy. Please hit her with a favorite because she'll be back. But hit her with a favorite anyway because she does go live on here. You can catch her every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. Today we're talking about the benefits of boxing on mental health, and it's time for our special guest, Zeke Illinois, to jump in the box, and we're going to divulge into a little bit of her journey with her mental health and boxing and how they kind of go hand in hand. So I'm really, really excited. Oh, hello.
Hey guys.
Hello. I don't know if it's you or me, but there's a little bit of lag going on.
Sorry for my messy bun. I'm like
That's okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Z.
Am I lagging? Am I lagging?
You are lagging a little bit.
Let me am I still lagging?
A little bit. There's just a little bit of lag.
Like,
Okay,
give
I
me
think we're-
like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Okay, it's better. It was better now this time, but well, guys, we are having some technical difficulties, so give us just one moment. Zeke Illinois is going to join us in the box. If you haven't already, hit me with a favorite. Make sure you guys hit that star up here in my name so you can join us every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the show. Hello, Quinn. Hello, Taylor. Guys, thank you for the gifts, by the way. Let me take this opportunity to thank Drew. Holy moly. I don't know if that was like, I don't know if the casino castle was off of a wheel or if you were just feeling mighty generous, but thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Oh, wow, not a wheel. Let's go, Drew. I appreciate that. Shout out to Zen, Artemis, Zeke, Illinois, Chris from Florida, Sassy Skittle, Armando, Sir Bluff, Oh Hey, Butt Scratcha, Magician Bob. I see you guys. Thank you for the gifts. You guys are amazing. I think we're going to get her back in the box. Thank you. Thank you, Toxic. Ellie Toxic. I appreciate that. Hello, son. You guys are back in host
It should be
mode.
better. It should be better now.
We're good. It's all
Yes!
good now.
Okay, thank
Here
God.
we go.
Oh my God, please don't do this to me now.
No, everything is good. Well, Z, thank you
Okay.
so much for taking the time out of your day to be here with us on the show. For those of us who don't know who you are, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, so for those who don't know me, I'm Zeke Illinois. I have my boxing classes featured on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, but I also have them on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern and also Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you don't make it Monday, don't worry. We got more classes for you.
That's awesome. So I don't know if anyone knows this about you or not. I don't know how much you share about your personal life, and we've talked. So I think that we kind of know what our limits are as far as what you're going to talk about. But how did you get into boxing in the first place?
Honestly, like I've been talking to Moore a lot. I love his forgiveness program, and I love show. And what I wanted to say is completely different what I'm going to say, because boxing has really helped me in different aspects of my life. I've only been boxing for almost 4 years, and I took a year off when I broke my leg in half. I couldn't walk for the last half year almost. And take it from somebody that has been through the trauma, has been through a lot of terrible things in life, and I didn't give up. And boxing has helped me mentally, not only as a fighter competing, but it's helped me mentally challenge myself to recognize myself and understand that I am strong, I am beautiful, I'm perfectly imperfect, I am a soldier. Like I am capable of doing these wonderful things, and also being human and being capable of doing things that are wrong, you know. But I'm still gonna get up and do something about it, you know. And boxing will help me with that.
So what was your experience like your first day ever being in a boxing class or a boxing gym? What was that like for you as someone who was super new to it?
Honestly, like before I got into boxing, I was a raging alcoholic. And when I got into boxing, I had that mindset where if I can outdrink anybody, I can outbox anybody. Like I'm very competitive, but I'm also like I don't know, like it was very hard. It was very hard being a full-time bartender in Miami, trying to train for my first fight ever. It was very hard to balance life
Yeah.
and figure out where I needed to be, what I needed to do to train to make it to the goal, which was to win that belt, which was to win that not only for I thought at the moment was for me, and it was for me, but it was for the misfits. It was for more than me. It was for the people like me that just needed somebody to show them that there's a positive release for people like us, where we might be the misfits, we might be the underdog, but guess what? We don't give up. We don't give up. And we have that fight. And I was chosen to prove that, and I proved it. And I will never, since I was chosen by Castores Tequila, I will never give that up. I will continue showing everybody that we have this fight in us. We do, 100%.
Wow, that's amazing. So you used boxing as a way to overcome an addiction,
Yeah.
and a lifestyle that you once had. So so now you're in boxing, you're enjoying it as a boxer, but you now are also a coach. So how did you transition from just a boxer into a boxing coach?
Okay, so I used to be a youth soccer coach before I moved to Miami in Chicago, right? And then when I moved to Miami, when I first moved to Miami, because I'm back in Miami, I was lost, you know, and you'll find more about that on More Show on Sunday, my forgiveness. I've been through a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt, and I had a lot of anger that I didn't even realize that I had until I started boxing, that the anger came up. I was suppressing my anger with substance like liquor, partying, just not focusing on what I really cared about and what I really wanted until I started boxing. So it was a battle. It was a battle between being numb and being able to honestly confront myself and be one with myself, forgive myself, feel myself, be that empowerment that I want within myself, show the people what matters within yourself. And I felt that once I got the taste of it. I left Miami and I went to California, started coaching kids. Until Meet Me, I didn't start coaching adults, but I got into coaching again, which is like my passion, because like I'm thinking about signing up for another fight, but at the same time, do I care? No. What I care about is how boxing helped me and how it can help other people like me. It really helps. It really does. It really does.
Wow, that's awesome. So you box children, which you still do that to this day, even through like COVID. Has COVID put like a damper on that at all?
A little bit, yes, but honestly, no. When COVID first started, I broke my leg in half. So
Wow.
from being a full-time youth boxing coach to being a virtual full-time boxing coach to being no leg, I can't stand up and show these kids, but I was still coaching. I was still
Wow.
coaching, but I lost a lot of clients. I don't even like to call them clients because these are families. Every family that I worked with on a different level. It wasn't about the money. Like I let them pick their budget. I'm like, okay, what do you need from me? Like, what do your children need? Like, is your family disconnected from each other and needs that confidence to be able to express yourself, stand up for yourself, be able to feel okay with how you're feeling? And boxing helps that. It gives you that confidence. So I've helped families do this, and it's helped me continue to coach and not focus on fighting again, honestly.
So does that mean you've actually boxed, or you've trained families in the full? So not just children, but also children and their parents and things like that. So wow, see, that's really cool.
So I got when I first started coaching, I was in San Francisco and I just got done with my fight in New Orleans. So my sponsors paid for my membership at that gym, and they saw how I was when the kids would come in, because I was at the gym every day. When I have a fight, I was at the gym all day, every day. So I saw a younger guy than me. He was like 17 coaching these kids and he needed help. They asked me for help because the kids, when I was there 24 fucking 7. Oh, I'm so sorry. 24 effing 7. I'm so sorry. 24/7. The kids, I'm really good with kids. I'm good with people. Like, come talk to me, whatever. And the kids started talking to me. So the head leader of my boss, who my sponsorships paid to train me, he asked me for help. He didn't even offer me a job. He asked me for help. And I was like, yes. You don't have to give me money. Just let me train. Just give me a free membership. I'll help out. You know, like, I'm not asking for personal training. I'm just like, just let me continue being part of the gym when my sponsorship is over after the fight. And I ended up being head coach. I never coached families. The family that I did coach I coached his kid and helped his kid mentally be stronger and mentally get over his anger issues, where his whole family saw it. And his whole family was like, okay, I had their cousins, their nieces, their whole family was in my class. And that's when I started coaching adults, was literally only this family I coached adults, because I only coached kids until I was on Meet Me, besides this family. So
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
so that was like a very special situation.
I'm not gonna say no. If you need help, I'm there. I'm not gonna say no.
So you kind of talked about how that boy and that family had anger issues, which his family also noticed, and you perhaps maybe helped him with that. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about a mental health journey? Rather, was that an example, or maybe as someone else that you've seen throughout your boxing classes?
I would love to. Thank you for reminding me. So, an example, this kid that used to come into my class, at first, evil kid. He was so mean to everybody in class. But as a coach, I was like, what's wrong? Like, why are you being so evil? Like, he did really good with his combos. Like, when it was just me and him, because when I have a class, I can't give everyone individual attention. I have to make sure it's spread out. But I have that one-on-one time with that person throughout the class, you know? So I get to gain understanding with all the kids that are in my class. I try to my hardest. I want to understand why they're there, why they're taking the class. Are your parents making you, or you need to? He was amazing in boxing, but he troubled with his mental stability. He did not make friends in the class. He was very evil. His father, I've had to kick out of the class because he was very, in the same aspect, he was very mean. Very mean with kind. And I was not tolerating that in my class. I do not tolerate rudeness. I do not tolerate disrespect within yourself or others at all. Even if your parents, I will tell your parents to get out of my gym. I had to deal with the kid and his dad. But once I took the dad out, the kid actually ended up opening up more. And he actually gained trust in me as a coach. And he's like, thank you for standing up for me. I can't breathe. He's like, I hate that I'm mean to these kids. And it took me a while. I had to break him down. I had to spar him. And he literally attacked me. He attacked me. And I was like, okay, you're not being a boxer. You're throwing helicopters. I'm taking all the hits. So I'm just going to do like a light jab, hit him in the face a little bit with parent consent and everything. I broke him down, and he ended up, after I gained that trust and he understood that he needs to be confident and not be evil, he ended up making friends in the class. He ended up being one of the best kids that I don't have favorites, but he did so unbelievably freaking amazing. And he just needed that confidence and that friendship and that push and that mental stability, that he wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. He wasn't weak. He wasn't like, even you might not have support, but you do. When you come to a boxing gym, you do. You have your coach. You have the people there that care. If you don't care, they're not going to care. If you care, they will care. They will care. You don't have to be competing. You just have to have the heart that needs to be heard, or just that's just in pain. And I'm telling you, like, any boxing gym that I've been in has given you that respect and that fulfillment of just being strong and just being wonderful. I love it. I've never experienced anything since I've been until I started boxing, this experience, honestly.
So that's wow. So you sound like you've had really good coaches, and now you're a very good coach for these kids and for people on Meet Me, which, by the way, we'll talk about your show here in a second. Zeke, Illinois. Guys, if you are just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. Sammy J, our mental health therapist, is taking a break for a minute while Z is in here. We're talking about her mental health journey as well as her boxing journey. So I have a question, actually. Of course, I have a question interviewing you, but
Ready.
is it pretty easy to find like the right coach? I'm just curious, because I mean, I feel like I don't really know much about boxing, but maybe I want to get into it. How do I know that I'm going to go somewhere where I have the kind of energy that you're going to have as my coach?
Honestly, finding the right coach is like finding the right psychiatrist. For me, with how I became a boxer and how I became a coach and my past trauma, I have a lot of trauma. It's pretty crazy. I should write a book. So for me, it was finding the right, it was hard for me to find the right coach. Like, I went from coach, I have 10 different coaches in different states, honestly.
Wow.
And I train with all of them. But what coach would be in my corner is the coach that actually, like me, actually cares. Because they can train you to be that fighter, but do they care? Will they be in your corner? You know, and that's what I'm shaking even thinking about, is because this means something so much to me, and giving back, and just how boxing did something for me. Like, I love sharing that. That's what I love about being a coach. And I've had coaches that haven't gave that to me, and it's damaged me. And it sucks sometimes. Whether you go from gym, whether you're boxing or not, you're gonna go to gym. You're gonna be like, okay, this is not the gym for me. You have to find that right coach, that right gym. And a lot of boxing gyms or MMA are very opening. They're not about flexing. They want to see you break down. They want to see you break down, and if you can fight, like if you're gonna fight for yourself, and they'll push you to do that. They'll be by your side, but they kind of push you to do that. They kind of want to see it. Like, are you a good person? Because a fighter, like, honestly, most of the fighters that get into fights, like professional fights, are the biggest lovers.
Yeah.
So they push you to see, like, you want to fight? Why? Do you want to be tough? Okay, take the classes. You want to fight? What are you fighting for? Fighting for love? Are you fighting for yourself? Are you fighting for the misfits? All of the above, like, that's the gym. Like, you'll feel it. But I guarantee if you go to an MMA or boxing gym compared to like LA, I'm not going to name names, but like just regular gyms, you'll feel more welcomed. You'll feel people that have your back, that know, like, even if you're coming into it, they're like, okay, you're a newbie. I get where you're at. I'm telling you, every gym that I've joined, I feel like I don't even have to explain myself. Like, they're just like, if it's a boxing gym or like a fighting gym, if I went to like a regular gym, I feel like, they're like, oh, can you lift more than me? And then you feel intimidating. You feel intimidated. You're like, I'm trying to gain, like, I'm not trying to compete. Like, if you're not in a actual ring against somebody else from a different gym, you don't have any worries. They're on your team.
Yeah, it sounds like a real community of people. And we've even mentioned that, like, when some of the research we found, it says like it is such a community of people from different walks of life, and all with maybe different purposes of why they're there. So, do you have any advice for people who might be interested in pursuing boxing, even if it's just like fitness boxing, but they're kind of afraid of the sport? I feel like there's kind of sometimes there's a lot of negative comments about boxing if you don't really, if you're kind of ignorant to the whole sport. There's,
I
yeah.
honestly understand that. I understand that because before even I started boxing, like I'm a big lover. And when I started boxing, it was like, oh, like, am I tough? Am I a fighter? Am I scary to people? Like, because of my image, because of my name? You don't worry about that. No matter what in life, people are going to stereotype and they're going to put you in a category. You don't, like, that's not what you need to worry about. What you need to worry about is what you need. What do you need? If you need that guidance, if you want that physical and mental health, get in there, do it. Like, honestly, like I posted on my Instagram yesterday when I was training at my boxing gym. Like, I'm like, oh, but once the camera's on me, I was a live streamer. I got shy and I couldn't even do anything. Like, I like privates more than classes, even though I did a class at the gym that I'm working with. And people are like, oh my God, you're behind the wall. And I was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But I'm a very social person, but I like to be isolated also. I like to, especially something I'm focused on, my mental and physical health, I like to not be distracted. So get those privates, find that coach that's honestly, it's kind of like a psychiatrist, but in a different matter. Like, I'm diagnosed with PTSD, like diagnosed since I was 15. It got worse, but I controlled it when I started boxing. And it was because my coach, honestly, I have to give it out to my coaches. They helped me. Like, I've been through bad coaches, just like you go through those counselors that don't understand, they don't have your back. They're just in it for the money, whatever. Screw them, but you will find that coach that's going to make you remember the fighter that's within you. They're going to bring it out, and they're going to make you hold on to it and cherish it and appreciate it and appreciate your surrounding and what you've been through. That's what's important. You got to find that person, not the gym, you got to find that coach. And that's honestly like what I love that I've done on Meet Me is I can be that person. Because I've been through it. Like, I have that trauma. I've done a couple amateur fights, but it's helped me mentally. So I want to give it back.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. We're talking about boxing today. Zeke Illinois is Meet Me's very own boxing coach. We're running out of time here soon. So is there anything that you would like to add to the conversation before we do a little Q&A with you?
Yes, I just want to say to everybody that's listening, you are not weak. You are not alone. You are not a shadow of yourself. You can be strong, independent, confident. You don't have to feel, I have so much to say. You don't have to feel like that anymore. Honestly, I'm saying this like in a nice way, but also like in a coach, put my foot down. You are limiting yourself. So whether it's joining a boxing gym or anything, if you feel that mental block or physical block, you got to get up and do something. If you can't, you need a coach or a psychiatrist that can help you. And I'm telling you, they're going to be there. You might have to go through a couple, but they're going to be there. And if you don't like me, honestly, I don't like talking. I don't like talking about my past. I'd rather punch a bag. If you're like me, come take my classes. All you got to do is show up, and we'll work it out. We'll release that stress. We'll get it out, and we're going to move forward onto the next day, and it's all divine.
So how would we, I know you mentioned it before, but how would we join your class on Meet Me before we do our Q&A?
Just hit me with the favorite, and I have a class My banner on Meet Me is on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then I also have my boxing classes continuing on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m. Last week I was traveling, so I'm sorry I missed all week. I am so sorry. I felt so bad, you guys. Whoever's here was like, oh, you weren't there. I missed a week. I'm sorry. But I'm here to show you guys and give back and let you guys know that you guys aren't alone. This is a really good mental like positive build up, trust me. And I'm happy that I can be here for y'all, and I'm happy that you guys support me, and I'm just happy for life. Even though it could be evil, we're fighters. We ain't ever gonna give up. Never.
Guys, if you haven't already hit Zeke Illinois with a favorite, make sure you do so. If you guys have any questions for Z, please put them in the chat. We'll do about 5 minutes of a Q&A. If you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy. I'm Gabby. This is Zeke Illinois in the box. She's Meet Me's very own boxing coach. Sammy is not here right now because she's actually right in the chat here. So we're taking any questions from you guys about boxing, which we've covered so far. We've covered what boxing is, what fitness boxing is, how boxing can help you physically and mentally. And we've also even covered a program in the UK where they involve boxing and counseling together, which is really, really cool. So if anyone has any questions, put it in the chat, or forever hold your peace. Great story. That was a great
crazy
story.
that you told me about that, because while we were waiting for the questions, it's so awesome that you told me about that, because I didn't know about that. And the gym that I work with is actually like, they're all about bare knuckle fighting. Like, they're very deep into it, but a lot of them are from the UK. And like, what my coach that I've been training with, like, he is like a known person that's worked with kids, autistic kids, people like, just not even like people that want to fight, but people that needed that mental health. And I've told him recently, I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do a bare knuckle fight, but I have this mental block where like, I don't feel confident. I don't feel this. And he has, not only as a boxing coach, but he does like mental improvement and just actually cares, and it's helped me so much. And like, he even tells me stuff to tell you guys. So he's like, oh my God, you wanna help people? I wanna help people. Let's help people. Let's like, we were literally collabing. So my next show is gonna be a little bit different than last Monday. We're gonna be talking about a little bit more mental health and how we're gonna be going over boxing techniques as always, but we're gonna also go over mental health. Also, thank you, Gabby and Sam, thank you so much for this show. It's amazing. You guys, thank you so much. It's awesome. I love that you guys picked this topic and wanted to share it with the rest of the people on here, because it does mean something to me, and I want it to mean something to everybody that feels alone or less empowered, because you're not. You're strong. Come on.
Absolutely. Let's go. Trust me, girl. After my knee surgery, I am really, really considering taking a boxing class. Like, I really am. I think that would really help with some of my pent-up aggression, because there's some there. I don't always show it on the stream, but there's some deep within me. So boxing is a good outlet for it. So Chelsea, my friend, who actually is one of my friends that I know personally for years, she asked how intense her classes are. Like Meet Me classes, or like classes? Like,
oh, they're free. They're free. In person, I honestly, I've even in San Francisco, moving back to Miami, I've never have put a price on my classes. I always work with the families.
Oh, she said how intense.
There's some families like, oh, I want to offer you this. And I'm like, it's a little high, but like, I let them know, I'm like, are you sure? Like that's what you want? I always let them, like, and I work around it, you know? If you want privates and you want something off of Meet Me, I do classes on Meet Me. No required, like, you're not required to do anything besides show up and be you. That's all I ask. Show up, be you, give me your all. That's all I want. That's literally all I want, is you to show up to my class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 days a week. give me your all. Give me your all, and I will be that coach that makes you realize that you gave it your all. You are 100. You are 100. Even if you give 70%, that was your 100, and I appreciate it, you know? So in person is a little bit different because it depends on whether it's just with me or it's with the gym that I work with. There's just like, you know?
So I love that answer so much, Z. But she actually
Oh, I'm sorry.
she asked how intense the
Oh,
classes are.
oh, intense. I thought you said how much. I was like, how much? If you want to go in person, like you want to do come with my job, like you could talk to the gym and me about prices. On here, I just do it for fun. Intense. It depends on the class, honestly. I have some, but none of the classes. So my classes, instead of having sets where I'm like, okay, we have to do 10 of this, I don't do that because it sets people that need to be at a 5, and then like 3 weeks later they'll be at a 10. You know, build up your endurance. So I do time setting. I tell you not to quit. Focus on your breathing. Slow it down if you need to. Don't quit. They're intense if you want them to be. I give everybody, my classes are very flexible with how you are as a person. Whether I do some classes that are just full boxing, cardio, fun workout, like I did last Monday, yesterday, or they might be slowed down even more than that, where I go over boxing technique, where we're going over our feet, our stance, where we need to place our hands, perfecting combos, perfecting our foot placement, like our feet movement, you know. Like I do different classes, but none of them are ever intimidating, because like the classes that are intimidating, which is the cardio boxing classes I do randomly, like I let people know before the class, they're timed, not a number set. So it's up to you. Don't give up. Push yourself. Breathe through the combo. Breathe through the set, and you'll make it. But at your own pace. Just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the fight. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. And if you guys actually do join, which Chelsea, I saw that you were the one who actually asked that question. There's another question I'll get to in just a second, but I saw Z's class yesterday for the first time, and I have a knee injury, so I can't really do too much, but it is so fun. And if you're not into boxing, or maybe you're not really sure if you even really care for it, if you're looking for a good workout, definitely check out Z's stream, because like she said, it is time-based. So like your speed might not be Z's speed, and that's okay, especially if this is your first time doing it. But you will definitely get a workout. You will be sweating, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yes. You will like, I've had like
Yeah.
one of my friends, and I don't know if he's still in the chat, Sean, he did one of my first classes, and he's been doing my classes consistently. And he was one of my guests one time in my box, and like I can just see like he was just doing like his 1s and 2s, you know, just jab crosses, and he was doing so many, and he wasn't tired right away, because he knew from my classes how to breathe, how to make himself last longer, how to, you know, like it's so crazy. Like there's moments, even, okay, you guys, I haven't been training full time until recently, and even my trainings where I'm like just one-on-one, after 3 rounds, sometimes I'm dying. If I'm not breathing properly, if I didn't eat well that day, I'm dying. But I don't give up. I take it, I slow it down, and I finish all the rounds. That's what I tell people. Slow it down, but don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. You are a fighter. Fight for it. Can finish these rounds at your own pace.
Mike earlier, way earlier, and I'm sorry, Mike, I just getting to your question now.
You're good.
He asked about headgear. Let me find his question. Said, is it safer to use headgear? Is it necessary to use it? Is it okay to not use it? I guess that's something I don't really know much about either.
Depending on what you're doing. So amateur fights, you are required to wear headgear. You are required to wear a certain weight on your glove. You know, it can't. There's 16 ounce, 12 ounce, 8 ounce. You know, like, so there's certain regulations you have to stick by. As far as training, I'm now training for my first bare knuckle fight. So I'm training still with my gloves on and everything, that weight. But honestly, it's honestly just cardio. It's just cardio. Like, you just need to jog slowly, long distance, and be able to sprint/burst 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds on, 30 seconds even out sometimes. You never know, you know, but it's very simple. It's very simple. It's very easy to get into. You just need cardio.
Z, thank you again so much for being our guest. That's the end of the Q&A section with Z. If you guys want to find her on social media or on Meet Me, you can let them know where they can find you, Z.
Okay, so I stream on here. I haven't been streaming like full time as I used to be, but I'm always on here for my boxing classes. I'm sorry about last week. I was traveling in California. I'm so sorry. I missed last week. I was traveling. I felt so bad. But I'm always on Mondays for my classes, Wednesday and Fridays. Check out my bio. My Instagram is my same name as it is on here. And if you guys have any questions with whether it has to do with boxing or just improving your mental, physical health, just DM me with that boxing glove in the fire. And I got you all. Like, I 100% got you.
Z, thank you so much for an amazing conversation. I hope that you enjoyed being here. This was a really cool episode.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Guys, hit Z with a favorite so you guys can box with her because she's got another boxing class coming up.
Tomorrow night, after I'm getting my neck tatted during the day, I'm going to take a nap and then I'm going to coach you guys. So I'm going to deal with pain all day and I'm still going to coach you guys. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Man, good luck with the neck tat. That's going to be sweet.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys. Hit Z with a favorite. If you're just tuning in, this is In It Together with Gabby and Sammy, a show we do every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have a new weekly topic that's related to mental health, self-development, and self-healing. We just had an awesome conversation with Zeke Illinois. Now Sammy J, my co-host and mental health therapist, is back in the box. Welcome back, Sammy.
Yes. Oh, so much energy. Yes, I need some of that, Z. I need some of that. Send it my way.
I do.
She's an amazing, amazing person. Thank you so much, Z, for being on the show. Your story is great. Very, very great story.
Guys, if you have any questions for Sammy or I regarding mental health or anything like that, maybe that we've covered today, please put it in the chat. If you haven't already hit Sammy J with a favorite, please hit her with a favorite. She is a live streamer. She's not only our amazing co-host, but she is a live streamer every day, almost. Maybe the weekend.
Most days.
Most of the time. Most days. 90% of the days. Sammy J is live at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for about an hour or so. If you ever have a question or maybe a show suggestion, definitely go and check out her stream. It'll be really cool to see her in a different light when we're not in show mode too. She's really awesome.
Very different.
Definitely.
Don't judge too hard, guys.
But she will ask tough questions early in the morning. That's facts.
We do a question of the day every morning. So my morning streams typically, if you catch me in the middle of the day, I don't always have a question of the day, but definitely in the morning, we try to wake your brains up a little bit.
Absolutely. If you guys got anything out of the show, can you hit a 1 in the chat? If you've been here since the beginning of the show, I hope that I see you in the chat right now. Cody, Nilla, Bob, Cheyenne, Rennie. Rennie, I'm always happy when you're here, Rennie. It's so good to see you.
Rennie's about to have a special day next week. Shout out, Rennie.
Shout out to Rennie. Armando's here too. Oh my gosh, that's great. Armando's a friend of mine in real life who's actually boxes. So I was like, hey man, you got to answer that question on my Instagram for me. You know what I'm saying?
I need you.
It's like I need some of your knowledge. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. If you don't have any questions for Sammy or I, we always close. Actually, before we close with the tarot card, I'm doing something new, which
Ooh.
I'm gonna close with the tarot card first, actually, and then I'm gonna do this because I need you out of the box for the
Okay.
end. So the tarot card I have at the end, I always post this along with all our resources on Instagram. However, I've had a really, really rough week. So I didn't put last week's sources on, but they will be put on tonight. I'll put them on immediately after the show. This week's tarot card, am I in my head or in my heart? What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where miracles happen. Today's mantra says, today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video, do some tapping, maybe do some boxing, read an empowering book, or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams. This was the closest thing I could find to boxing in the whole deck.
I love it though.
Hope
And
you
we
guys
talked
get the
about
fun
how
out of it.
boxing can bring you out of your head, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So I thought that was a good fit. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Sammy, I appreciate you for being here. Hit her with a favorite, please. I'm going to have you exit the box because I'm doing something new.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye. Yeah, guys, next week the show is canceled because of some stuff I have going on. But then we'll be right back into it. We're going to be talking about forgiveness with Moore. I don't know if Moore's here, but it's called the Forgiveness Project he started. It's every other Sunday. So not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday will be the next episode of his show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check that out. I would just like to shine a little light on some of the show creators we have that are on right now. Bart. Guys, Bart's amazing. He has a show, which this is my first time seeing his banner. He is live right now. The show is called Valiant, and the active service is defined differently by those who live it. Army veteran Bart highlights guests and their experiences in military branches. Find inspiration from those who are valiant. So guys, make sure you check out his show. It's going on right now. Another show going on right now is One Day at a Time with Charisma. Do you have a goal that you can't seem to get started? Set it in motion, your next great plan. Learn the steps to achievement with the certified life coach, Charisma Davis. And then after Charisma, guys, is the last show of the night, Nerd to Know with Ariana. Comic books, video games, and all things geek. Ariana is a super fan. Join to find the breaking news that you nerd to know. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you'll check out all the other show creators on the app tonight. And I thank you for being here. If you guys want to come back for the next show, please hit the star in my name so you can come back and hang out and get educated. And always, I go live every day, so you can come and hang out in my streams and, hang out in a little bit of a different environment than this one. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. Shout out again to my gifters, Drew, coming through with that Casino Castle, Ash Marie, Zen, Artemis, Zeke, Illinois, Chris, Sassy, Armando, Sir Bluff. I see everybody in the chat. Shout out to my team, by the way. I have a team for the show. I have people who are in the comments who make sure that everybody gets the updated information that they need to know as far as my socials go. I have someone who records the show, Cody and Sean, both take turns recording the shows. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, and then shout out to all my bouncers for always doing a great job of keeping the chat positive and clean. You guys are amazing. You guys are a huge part of the show and my family in general. So thank you guys so much for being with me every day and every week. And if you guys have any other suggestions for the show, make sure that you message me on Instagram, which is in my bio. Gabby Uke is where you can find me. Guys, have a great night. Bye.